These people live with some of the rarest skin conditions in the world.
We have no idea what my condition is, what causes it, just no answers.
Their skin is meant to protect them, but for these individuals, that's not always the case.
I don't really remember a time when there was actually nothing hurting.
What is it like to live with one of the rarest skin conditions? Or harder still, a skin condition that remains a mystery to doctors.
The condition I have is unknown.
How do they navigate the world with these incredibly rare conditions, which not only affect them medically, but also make them look different?
I don't like when people stare, because I don't know what they're thinking about me and how I look.
They've had to overcome a lot to be where they are today.
What happens in the ICU stays in the ICU, man. Between me and him.
New Yorker Shirley has created a whole new persona to help her deal with her diagnosis.
I think my lowest point in life was probably when I was a child. I think as soon as I was diagnosed.
At just 9 years old, Shirley found out she had a rare condition known as Scleroderma.
The progression was so fast, it happened in a matter of weeks. It's a very complex disease, but it's an autoimmune disease that affects the connective tissues, and it makes the skin very hard, like stone, from the inside out. I started showing symptoms when I was about the age of 9. After a couple of weeks, we found out it was scleroderma.
We're always together, since growing up. She always been like a dancing and always been like a ball of energy.
I went from walking to using a walker, and in a couple of months using a wheelchair. I remember sitting in a chair, I was very exhausted, and I looked at myself in front of a mirror, and I asked, why me? Like, why is this happening? Like, what did I do to deserve this? And I just felt pity for myself. And after a few minutes, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna snap out of it. And from that day forward, I changed my mentality, and I just decided to think positively and just go with it and make the most out of it every day, which is what I've done until today.
Not letting her condition get the better of her, Shirley discovered her love of music, art, and fashion as a way to express herself.
It's true. I like a lot of black. When I was about 16 years old, I discovered goth. Matched my style, matched my personality. I look at fashion as an art form. I like to express myself, my mood with fashion. It's helped me a lot with my confidence. I didn't think I could dance or move that same way again. But I decided to embrace my limitations, even use my chair as a prop. And I began dancing with my sister without any fear.
Shirley also created a character for herself to help her own and celebrate her differences.
So the reason why I started the concept of the tragic doll was because I wanted to give myself a persona that I can be creative with. I always felt like I was trapped. My spirit, my soul was trapped in a foreign body. And so I thought the doll was the best concept of expressing how I feel living with scleroderma. I might be a little fragile looking. I might have porcelain-like skin, but I feel like there's this immense strength within myself, and I want to try to project that. I think I've gone through the worst in my life, that anything else is just microscopic. Your perspective is what really counts the most, and I always try to either, be positive or add some humor in my life.
She's the reason why my life is so interesting. She's the reason why I love to dance. She's the reason why I'm into fashion. She influenced me a lot with all these things. She is wild thing. She is rebellious, and she is an amazing person.
I think we have pain, and it's going to only build character. It's going to build your strength, I think. Life will never be perfect. It will never be a perfect path. Over the years, I think the tragic doll helped me find a way to be more confident in my own skin and accepting that there is alternative beauty and maybe showing people a different kind of beauty and seeing beyond that.
"11-year-old Lucas has an unusually extreme version of his condition.
I would love to be a race car driver.
What kind of cars?
Chevy.
NASCAR though?
Chevy and NASCAR, yeah.
Third row, you got your straps okay? Awesome, a professional.
I was born with this disease called giant congenital nevus, and that's what's all over me. Basically just a giant birthmark, that's all I can say about it.
Giant congenital nevus is a dark-coloured and often hairy patch of skin.
I wonder who won, Kaylee? Giant congenital nevus, the stuff that I have, is 1 in every 500,000 kids.
It's very rare.
Yeah, very rare.
How do you feel about getting on the wall?
Good.
Yeah? Haven't done that in a while, huh?
Hopefully it won't hurt this.
I don't think so. Just take, if you do feel any kind of strain or stretch, then just turn around, look at me, and be like, I'm coming down, all right?
So it's basically a large mole. It starts the first 8 to 14 weeks in the womb, and it is not only on the outside of his body, but it's on the inside. So it covers his brain and some of his spine.
No, I'm done.
Here, I'll pull this down so you can pull your pants up a little bit.
No, it was just hurting a little bit.
Just hurting a little bit?
That's why I was done.
Yeah, you want to take a little break?
Yeah, I'm just done.
Did it hurt anything? Just made it uncomfortable?
It just made it uncomfortable.
The main effects of giant congenital nevus would be NCM, which is the lesions in the brain. And so he also has hydrocephalus, which requires a VP shunt and to be monitored every 3 to 6 months.
Hydrocephalus is a condition characterized by an abnormal buildup of cerebral fluid in the brain.
I can get brain masses easier because I have basically nevus all over my brain. And then I got an airplane game too. Oh, my trail looks like a pile of slush.
It is, man. You made quite a few trails this year.
Yeah.
Good job. When Lucas was born, the doctors didn't know what he had. He basically looked charcoal burnt. It was definitely a struggle, scary.
When he came, yeah, he looked burnt. I mean, there's no other way to describe it. And so we were really confused and curious.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mommy and Daddy.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Mom and Dad.
I think school has been pretty good for him. We try to let him go and be as normal as possible. Although, since he's hit 6th grade, it seems to be a little bumpier.
Class is a good place to have it.
Hey, Skylar. What are you doing? I got a friend, Skylar, that comes over every day and hangs out with me and plays games and stuff, which is really nice, and he rides 4-wheelers with me.
Looking different has become increasingly difficult for Lucas.
Are you?
Yeah. He has dealt with bullying and name calling. He doesn't deal with it well. He wants to retaliate. He doesn't understand, but he comes home and he talks to us about it, which is really great.
Sometimes kids bully me. I don't know why, because I'm the same as everybody else. I just look different and stuff, and yeah.
Ever since he was born, people would always stare and look and wonder. It's horrible. It hurts.
I think playing games with my family and friends and stuff is my own little world from school and stuff.
We play a few hours a day, usually, and usually try and get some video capture or just try and have fun. So Team Lucas is basically Lucas's social media hub. This is where we share all of our social media content. After his brain tumor, this is what I came home and built. We were sharing his story in hopes of inspiring others that normal, regular, everyday life is there for everybody to have.
Oh, you're right there. No! I knocked you off.
Dad, I can go behind here. Look, I can go behind here. So she's nowhere to be.
I still ride my four-wheeler, play all my games and stuff like a normal kid would do. Just every once in a while I have roadblocks that basically just send me to the hospital or whatever, like this summer. I had a brain mass and we caught it when it was very small, walnut sized.
The NCM can cause seizures, other brain tumors, other just consequences with the disease that he has, which is the tumor that he had this summer.
This is where the bookmark was. It knocked him on his behind pretty good. What happens in the ICU stays in the ICU, man. Between me and him. But I'll tell you one thing. I'm glad he had his dad to pull and push. You know, he had that surgery on Monday, and we were back here on Friday.
Lucas is a strong-willed kid. He came out as a fighter, and I think he'll go out that way as well.
We just enjoy every second with him. Maybe because what's going on with him, or maybe not. I just see it as more of a reason to just live life and just to breathe that into him as much as we can.
When I grow up, I want to be a race car driver. I just think it's really fun to just drive a car fast. It doesn't stop me from doing anything.
Teen Sahana has one of the most deadly and painful skin conditions in the world.
It's quite normal to sort of wake up with quite a lot of blood on my pillow. I bleed a lot overnight just from sleeping. I don't really have any hair around here because the skin comes off quite a lot. Oh no, that looks terrible. I'll just try this. Normally there's always something hurting. Obviously I don't sort of go around my daily life thinking that hurts, but I don't really remember a time when there was actually nothing hurting.
Sahana has epidermolysis bullosa, or EB.
Epidermolysis bullosa is a skin condition that sort of causes the skin to lose its glue that sort of holds it on. So that means that with friction, lots of the skin and all different parts of your body, including like eyes and your mouth, can come off very easily. I have recessive dystrophic EB. Recessive dystrophic affects the eyes and the mouth and the throat. So this means that I need to put eye drops in to make sure that my eye doesn't stick to my eyelid and then cause an abrasion.
Her form of EB is very severe, meaning she'll be prone to aggressive and fatal forms of skin cancer.
She is incredibly fragile. and can get damaged very easily.
In order to protect Sahana's skin from breaking every morning and night, her body needs to be bandaged.
So it takes about 1.5 hours to do dressings in the morning and then 2 in the evening. I think it takes longer in the evening because I've still been walking around, so there are more blisters on my feet. I normally wake up while Mum's doing my dressing, so like my arms and stuff. And what time do you wake up?
About 6?
Yeah, about 6.
And started about 6:30. Sometimes it slips. We're always late for school. There hasn't been a day since Sohana was born that we haven't had to prick a blister. And I have to say that when I open up the packet and hear the crinkle, I think, oh, this means another blister to prick, but I can't imagine what that's like for Sahana, who hears that and knows that a needle's coming her way and there's nothing she's going to be able to do to really escape having it done.
Yeah, so pricking blisters is one of the most painful parts of the dressing process. Like blood blisters, so the top lid's like very thick, isn't it? So it's very difficult. You have to prick them lots of times. So that's painful.
Sohana was born with EB. We didn't know it when she was born because she was completely normal looking, apart from a very small patch on her neck. But by the next morning, the skin had been rubbed off her ankles and her feet from the plastic tags that they put on at birth. And they gave us a very special pillow on discharge at the hospital. And she stayed on that pillow pretty much for 6 months. We were terrified to pick her up and do anything with her.
So when I go outside, sometimes people sort of ask questions and like everyone stares a lot. When we're travelling and we go through security, once someone said that I can't go on the plane because I'm contagious, and I was like, no, I'm not, it's genetic. It's quite funny in a way. It's just how I deal with the problems. I just see the funny side of it.
Sahana was never able to ride a bike. She can't really do sport. She's never really had the pleasure of climbing a tree, or even running can be quite painful. She'll try and run, but of course we didn't want her to fall over.
Everything I can't do, I kind of wish I could, because obviously no one really likes to have those kind of limits.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, how are you? Normally when I go out with my friends, I just do normal things. When I spend time with friends, we can just do anything that just not sport, basically.
That was a lot of fun, actually.
It was.
And we did get some work done. I'm sorry.
Not really, but you know. We did.
I don't know what you were doing though.
No, I was trying to do that maths paper.
Oh yeah?
No, we drew on it instead.
I've known Sohana for 11 years, I think, since year 1. Yeah. Before I knew Sohana, I obviously could tell she had EB. I mean, it's
a secret.
I don't think, because we were so young, I think we just grew up knowing this and it wasn't something that bothered us. I think when you're older and you see someone, it might be a bit more shocking, but to us it was just one of our friends and that was just who she was.
I don't remember what I said, but it was so fun.
It was happy one. You were protected.
There is currently no cure for EB, and up until recently, the amount of money spent on research was minimal. But her parents began raising money for research before setting up a charity called Cure EB, dedicated to finding treatments and eventually a cure.
In the space of time that we've been fundraising, we've managed to raise over £5 million for EB research, which is good, but quite frankly, it's not enough.
I don't think just because a treatment isn't a cure, it doesn't mean it shouldn't be sort of pursued, because it can improve the lives of people with the condition so much.
EB causes painful blisters that need to be pricked with a needle. Please play EB Pop for Cure EB to make the blister stop. Oh my god!
I don't think you ever really get completely used to pain. So for example, even if you experience something every day, it's still going to hurt. It's not really surprising for me. I think obviously because physically I'm quite different to most people, but like mentally I'm probably the same.
I think I admire Sohana's humour, resilience, ability to just get on with life despite everything that's thrown her way. She has an amazing ability to find enjoyment in all the things she can do without focusing too much on what she can't do.
Like Sahana, Kiana has one of the most severe cases of her condition.
When I was born, I popped out and I had a birthmark.
Kiana has a port wine stain birthmark.
It's located on my face, the left side, neck, chest area. I have a patch on my back and also on my scalp. What a port wine stain birthmark is the blood vessels are dilated, and that's why I get the color. My birthmark really should have been treated at a much younger age with laser treatment. But in those days, that's like 1978 I was born. No one knew what the hell a port wine stain birthmark was, really. They had a name for it, but in terms of treatment, there was no treatment. As a result, I'm not having any treatment on my face. The birthmark just continues to grow. What really affects me is health-wise, I have this mysterious fever and swelling that affects my birthmark. It's extremely, extremely painful. I have pretty much no hearing in my left ear.
With such a visible condition, Kiana's had to get used to the attention that comes from looking different.
People stare at me when I leave the house. When people just stare and they stare and they stare, that's just being rude. I mean, I'm a human being. I can see that you're looking at me. I think my mother has definitely had something to say to a few people about the reactions to me.
I remember her coming home once and telling me how a woman made a sign of the cross while she was traveling with her. I don't think it affects her as much now as an adult as it did when she was much younger.
The birthmark affected my childhood. I was always usually the last child to be picked for sports. I didn't make too many friends. He was called a lot of names. I was called prune face, purple face. One that was really popular was the purple people eater.
In school, Kiana was quiet. She more or less kept to herself, not much socializing. She, had very few friends. I stood up for Kiana back then. So when people will probably ask, I will tell them, oh, it's just a mark, it's not contagious, nothing will happen to you if you touch her or you interact with her or anything like that. So I treat her like a normal person.
The turning point for me to just accept my birthmark was the fact that I kept being teased and that there was no way my birthmark could disappear. It was always going to be there and the teasing was always going to happen. Having my family be supportive has really helped a lot to cope.
She's able to be in society as a human being, like a normal human being, because I've always tried to emphasize with her, it is what is inside you that matters, not your external appearance.
Kiana's birthmark continues to grow as she ages, causing her complications.
I have had a total of 5 surgeries on my birthmark. The first 2 were the most critical. I mean, I was 36 years old, and that was my first surgery. But before my surgery, my face felt so much heavier. The effort just to talk, and it was really, really tough. And every time I talked, I used to drool as well. It's like having this huge 1-inch steak, the weight of it on your face. Sometimes I would feel the blood just running and pumping through my birthmark. So I do not have that weight anymore. I'm able to speak better. I do not drool anymore, which is fantastic. And I must say it has helped my confidence. Although a little cocky already, but it boosted my confidence a lot more.
Kiana's confidence has improved a lot, more so after the surgery. I think I have seen her confidence level boost a whole lot more since then.
I am a global ambassador for the Vascular Birthmark Foundation, and what I do is that I help to create awareness for birthmarks, and I do this via my blog and pretty much anybody that I meet who asks me what do I have on my face. Because awareness is so critical. Even in this world of modern technology, there's still so many doctors who don't know what a birthmark is. I am quite proud of myself to be able to talk to people and put myself out there.
I am unable to really say in words how proud I am of her. I'm exceptionally proud of her now being a global ambassador for the Vascular Birthmark Foundation. That, to me, is a great achievement.
I have a set to my birthmark. I have it is there. I'm not gonna say I'm perfectly happy with it because I don't love it. But it's there. I don't want my whole life focused on the fact that I have a birthmark. I don't want that to keep me back from enjoying life. To know that I can help somebody who also has a birthmark, it feels like this is what I'm meant to be doing.
Brazilian-born Karine might live in a city known for its beautiful urban beaches, but due to her incredibly rare condition, she must do her best to avoid the sunlight at all costs.
O meu dia a dia começa mais ou menos umas 10 horas. Acordo, tomo banho, depois vou fazer o café e é sempre a mesma coisa. Todos os dias é do mesmo jeito. Depois faço o almoço. Então, quando eu tinha 3 anos, eu fui diagnosticada com Shirley Pigmentosum.
Xeroderma Pigmentosum is a rare genetic condition that causes extreme sensitivity to the sunlight.
Comecei a fazer o tratamento era não pegar sol, ter alguns cuidados, né, assim, durante o dia, mas não explicou assim, até porque naquela época nem eles mesmos sabiam a gravidade do caso. No início era só umas manchinhas mesmo na pele, não tinha nada de lesões nem tumores. Aí quando eu tinha 8 anos começou a sair a primeira lesão, que foi... Então foi feita aquela biópsia, aqueles exames, né, tudo que precisa ser feito. E lá o médico constatou que era câncer. Então sempre surgia lesões. Então, contudo, eu já fiz muitas cirurgias, já foram mais de 200 cirurgias. Todas retiradas de tumores de pele, todos diagnosticados como câncer.
Among the many operations Karine has had to have as a result of her condition, this included one to remove her lower lip and the tip of her nose due to melanomas.
Essas manchinhas aqui, tudo são lesões melanomas que tem que ser retirado. Só que aí, como são muitos, não tem como tirar tudo de uma vez. Eles vai tirando aos poucos, vai dando prioridade aos que estão, tipo, nascendo tumores, que estão me incomodando. Eu nunca tive, assim, uma vida comum, uma vida normal.
Due to her condition, she has to stay away from the sun as much as possible, meaning most days she stays indoors with the curtains closed. Otherwise, the effects of her condition could continue to get even more extreme.
Em agosto do ano passado, eu passei por uma cirurgia e nessa cirurgia o médico descobriu que a lesão que eu ia tirar na cirurgia já não estava mais superficial, né? O médico falou que era um tipo de câncer que tinha caçado o osso da minha cabeça e eu ia ter que passar por uma cirurgia muito delicada, com o pós-operatório bem lento e doloroso. Então, no meio do desespero, eu me abri nas minhas redes sociais e contei o que estava acontecendo para os meus seguidores. Então, eu também vou precisar do apoio de vocês financeiramente, gente. Ele já me falou que é uma cirurgia que requer muitos cuidados, medicações, materiais curativos. Enquanto eu tiver vida, eu vou continuar lutando, porque enquanto há vida, há esperança. E lá eles fizeram uma campanha para mim, na época, para me ajudar. Fizeram uma zaquinha. E em menos de 24 horas, eles gateram a meta da campanha, dos valores que eles pediram na campanha.
After recovering from the surgery to remove the cancer from her skull, Karine realised people had donated more than she needed for her treatment.
E como eu não tenho esse costume de sair, minhas idas mais dentro de casa mesmo, eu me sentia muito sufocada, mesmo estando dentro de casa. Então eu tinha um sonho de ter um lugar maior, para me sentir mais livre, ter uma vida com qualidade melhor. Através da campanha, do dinheiro que foi arrecadado, eu comprei essa casa.
Through Karine's social media presence documenting her journey with XP, she met Ed, who saw her story and reached out to her online. When they began posting about their relationship, they received a lot of negative reactions, as many questioned whether their relationship was real or not.
Várias pessoas tem muitas pessoas do bem, mas também tem muitas pessoas do mal, né? Eu aprendi que o erro não está em mim, está naquela pessoa.
Fazer eu faço e só me sinto bem ao lado dela. Fazer bem a ela e ela me faz muito bem também.
E a coisa que vocês mais gostam de fazer juntos?
O que é, amor?
Então é sair, passear. Né?
Sair. Não é algo que acontece com muita frequência, mas a gente gosta muito de ter aquele momento só nosso, assim. Então é algo que eu gosto muito de fazer, sempre que eu posso. Do protetor solar, com roupa comprida.
Despite the many hardships she faces due to her condition, Karine and Ed make the most of the life they are able to lead with one another.
O que a gente espera para o futuro é uma qualidade de vida melhor, né? Tanto de condições financeiras como da minha saúde, né? Também, que meu problema se estabilize e a gente também se estabilize financeiramente, né? Para a gente estar realizando e conquistando nossos sonhos. Outra coisa?
In Florida, a 13-year-old was born with a skin condition so rare he's yet to be diagnosed.
Hi, my name is Elio, and when I grow up, I would like to be a professional gamer or a professional chef. Yeah, I just got a rush. My growth, though, I'm short for my age, and I heal faster than usual.
During my pregnancy, everything was absolutely fine, but when he was born, it was a surprise, not just for us, but for the doctors as well. They said that what he had was cystic fibrosis, is a ransom test, and that I should start preparing, told me and his father we should start preparing for his funeral, that he wouldn't last his first year. We said he's gonna make it through this, and 13 years later, he's here. Well, there was no prognosis. Everything has always been a guessing prognosis. And till this day, Elio still has not been completely diagnosed with any condition. They've come up to closest thing as far as ichthyosis syndrome, Netherton syndrome.
Ichthyosis is a condition where the body produces skin cells too quickly and lose the protective barrier that keeps moisture in the skin.
I would love for them to just come up with a name and just diagnose him with something so that he has a proper name for his condition. Even if it's rare, it's 1 in a million. He doesn't have all the layers of skin that we do. Like for instance, if he falls down and he needs stitches, he's actually healed within 24 hours. Yeah. So He hasn't really had the necessity to have stitches because his skin, it's always reproducing, so it heals really, really, really quick. When like you get hurt, how fast you heal?
Yeah.
You want to tell them a little bit about that?
I have a scooter and I was riding it and we were going down a bridge and I didn't know how steep it was and I lost control and I busted my whole knee and my whole arm, as you can see here. And it was healed within 3 days, right?
Completely healed.
No stitches?
No stitches. No, she gave me antibiotics.
With Elio's regimens on a daily basis, he has to take his bath. It takes about 20 to 30 minutes. Scrub all his dead skin off. So we put his Vaseline every 2 to 3 hours on him, or depending on how the weather is, he'll get dry faster. We put his mineral oil on him to keep his body oiled and cream, which doesn't help because then he can't really go outside because the sun will burn him even more with the oil. So we always put long sleeves on him, protective gear. We always put hat on him to protect him from getting burnt. The Vaseline gets stuck on his clothes and on his hat, and it's really hard to wash off because of the consistency and the oil. So we're always getting, always buying him clothes, always getting him hats. Probably spend almost about $200-300 a month just in clothing for him.
Due to how his condition affects his appearance, Elio has been the target for bullies.
I've been told to kill myself. I've been told to just leave, go somewhere else. I've been called ugly. I've been called emo. I've been called tomato. I've been called, oh my God. You know what this girl called me? She called me a disabled. She said, get out of here, you handicap.
The people making fun of him because he smells strong because it's dead flesh, so it smells really bad, and they tell him you stink, and situations where he's been on the bus and he got kicked off of the bus because the kids kept complaining about how he smelled.
I don't really care anymore. I mean, I've gotten used to it to the point where it doesn't matter if they say mean stuff to me. Sticks and stones break my bones, but roads don't hold me, you know. Got those potatoes. Can we put those? So my sister Yasmin, she doesn't like when kids mess with me. She doesn't. She hates it.
I was like his bodyguard at school, you know, whenever a kid was picking on him. People reject things that are different, you know. They don't know what it's like to be in his position and to be born with a condition. Elio is very charismatic. He is very hyper, he's very energetic, he's very social. He's a sweet kid, you know. He's just had the rough end of life, and it's been hard, but he's sweet. He's my little brother, he's my baby.
He sees you, he's not dumb, and he knows that you're talking about him. That's not cool. There is people that are different. We're all different races, different colors, blue eyes, brown eyes, you know. We're all different, but we're all humans. We all have feelings, we all have emotions, we all have a heart. So we all need to understand that even though we look different, we're still human. And we shouldn't hurt each other's feelings that way.
Still waiting for a diagnosis for her mystery condition, Nancy's skin condition has some baffling symptoms.
It appeared like here first. In this part of my face, it feels like needles constantly stabbing in my face. Then as it gets more further up, it feels more bruising and more like a headache. And down here just aches all the time.
She was about 11 the first time she had a flare-up. It started on her lips, they really swelled, went bright red, like blistery.
Why is it getting so big?
We took her straight to the GP and they thought it was an allergic reaction to something, but she hadn't eaten anything different, anything strange, and that's how it all started. As it became more regular, yes, I did get worried because the reactions got worse and worse as time went on.
We have no idea what my condition is, what causes it.
I've had so many tests, so many scans, everything, blood tests done, been on so many medication, and we just don't know. There is no name for it at the moment.
Having a diagnosis would just give us all a bit of peace of mind. It's an incredibly weird condition. You know, you just never know when it's going to happen.
Never knowing when or why her skin flares up has been difficult for Nancy to come to terms with.
Yay, I love my life. I love my skin. I've not found any medication that works or helps, and no treatments that we know of. It definitely affected my confidence as a teenager, growing up, and almost all eyes on me sometimes, and then I just didn't want to go out. I did used to cover that up with this foundation that's made for covering tattoos for movies and stuff. And then as it got worse, covering up just made it more visible. And I just decided I didn't want to cover it anymore. I started posting on TikTok in 2019. Some of the best comments I get is when people tag their friends and say, oh, she's so pretty, or oh, she's so inspiring. But when I started getting so many messages from people saying, oh, you've helped me with my acne, you've helped me with so many different things, not even skin related, that's when I decided, oh, I could really make something of my platform and what I have. I definitely lose a few followers every time that my skin flares up. Since my face came up the other day, I've literally lost 5k followers. I can't help but think it's because I look like this. I've had people say stuff about me being like a burn victim or things like that. A lot of people say, have your family hurt you? Reactions are definitely a lot more negative online. People say whatever they want.
It makes you feel upset for her because she doesn't need to go through that, especially when she gets stared at down the street. She doesn't need to feel more upset about just stupid comments from people.
Today I'm gonna be filming a TikTok with Tilly, and she's gonna read out hate comments.
Camo print.
Yeah, those ones are so regular. Camo print, pizza face, things like that. Just knocks your confidence a bit. At the start, my confidence would go down when I'd get a nasty comment. Now, I don't even blink an eyelid at it. The worst comment I've got, stuff like kill yourself, things like that, like really bad things. They like to get a rise out of me. So that's why I just delete the comment, block them. I hope to inspire people to learn to love themselves a bit more, and my biggest thing is to make people stop being so horrible to other people when they just see one 15-second video of their life.
I love her TikTok. I think it's really just a fun thing to do. It's been amazing to see her come to terms with such a understandably hard thing to come to terms with, and also be able to embrace it just for what it is.
TikTok has been a massive help, I suppose. It's almost like a therapy. I think it's also helped Nancy realise that there's a lot more nice people out there than there are horrible. I'm always worried about what people are saying, and I have read some of them, and I have to stop because I wouldn't deal with it like Nancy does. But I love the way that she's turned it into something positive.
My flare-ups make me who I am. It doesn't bother me what it looks like anymore, but if they went away tomorrow and never came back, I definitely wouldn't miss them.
Looking different has been a huge barrier for James.
I have a skin condition called vitiligo, which destroys your skin.
James has non-segmental vitiligo, an autoimmune disease where the immune system destroys the cells in the body that produce melanin, causing loss of pigment and colour in the skin.
It's not life-threatening and it's not contagious, it's just skin. I developed vitiligo at the age of 18 months old as a baby. I was asking my mom, what's wrong with me? My mom always used to reassure me nothing's wrong with me. I kind of grew up just saying it was a birthmark or a beauty mark. Overnight, my skin just started to change. We was trying to get some answers, so I remember her just taking me to a specialist, and they wanted to kind of do these light treatments, which is like this ultralight, and we found out that it was vitiligo. take the weights. My mom loved me no matter what, but I felt like the rest of the world didn't understand vitiligo at the time. It was always the question, what happened to your face? Were you burnt? Were you in the fire? Because my self-esteem was so shattered, I was just empty inside. No one ever asked me what was my name, how I'm doing. Instead, they always asked me what was on my face. And it made me sad as a kid. I didn't realize I was different till society started pointing out these things. Wow, look at your skin. Look at your face, man. How come you're different? Is it contagious? I felt like the world didn't accept me. The world didn't see me who I really was. It made me feel like I don't belong in this world. I felt like an outcast. Vitiligo put a toll on my life. I grew up thinking that what I seen in the mirror or my reflection was a monster. It was just like a scary feeling, man. I wish no one to go through that. It became like a conflict within myself. So I decided one day to look in the mirror. I had to be like the age of 7 to really look in the mirror. And that's the first day that I actually gave myself that stamp of approval. And it felt really good. And every day I would show up and look in that mirror and reassure myself that nothing is wrong with me. Growing up with vitiligo, I didn't have no real representation. It kind of made me want to change that narrative. I wanted to show up for others.
Growing up with such negativity surrounding his appearance, James decided he wanted to change the narrative.
6, 7 years ago, I started That Vitiligo Guy. That was my ghostwriter handle where I would just put out these daily vlogs on positivity. The biggest lesson that I learned was it don't matter what color you are, what shape or size you are. What's important is what's in the heart. Society's perception can just change your look and how you feel and how you view yourself. Take a step back, because it all starts with you. Start viewing yourself as you are, because at the end of the day, it's always going to be you versus you. I'm just getting ready. I'm shooting up to my mom's house, checking on her, see how she's doing. My mom helped me in so many ways. Even at this age, I probably would have still seen this monster if I didn't have the mother that I had in my life. That's my superhero. She always told me that I'm no different than anyone. She always brought the best out of me. She always included me in pictures. She never looked at my vitiligo as a disability or as disadvantage. She treated me as just I was like my brother or my sister. Hey, Mommy, how are you? Good to see you.
What's up? So, how'd it go yesterday?
It went really well. I was DJing upstate. Went to school, did 2 presentations there with my first book, The Boy Behind the Face. It was a great turnout. Kids didn't really enjoy that, the staff, the administration, the principal. 3 years before I became an author, I wanted to go into the school system to educate people on vitiligo, just to bring this conversation around inclusivity, diversity, and acceptance. So I decided to write a book, The Boy Behind the Face. And it's about a boy named James, which happened to be me. So I wrote this book for kids who's at the early age to kind of give this message, just a simple message, treat others the way you want to be treated.
I am proud of James being an author, and I am such a proud mother of the man that he has come and where he's at right now and where he's going, and I know it will be great.
I'm working on a new book currently, The Man Behind the Face. I've just been in the process of really putting this content together, but I'm super excited about it. And I'm gonna actually share some of my life experience. It's almost 100% completed. I think I'm gonna shop it around, or I might just self-publish it. It's just gonna just change so many different people's outlook on life. And I'm just so excited. I just wanted to share that with you.
Being that great person that you are and that I instilled in you, you treat people the way you want to be treated, and you will go a long way, and God will appreciate it.
The most proudest thing that I accomplished and that I'm happy with, I took the chance on me. I believed in me and I didn't give up. Look at me, I could have played that victim, but I didn't play that victim. That's what I'm so proud of. The reality is, I chose the right path of being positive living with vitiligo. It turned me into who I am now. Vitiligo has shaped me to show up for others, but most importantly, to find that inner self-love.
If you enjoyed this video, please let us know in the comments and like and subscribe.